We first and truly believe that the life, like everyday life, it's one of a big magic that we can have and see in the world. And for me, it means that I want to feel that every day is something special. It's about what can be today so special for me, and it means for the world around me. It's starting today from the question, what if? And after you can continue from the different ways.
Welcome to the True Leadership Podcast, where we sit down with executive leaders to explore what leadership really means through the lens of their stories, their wins, their struggles, their vision, and their lessons along the way. I'm Ty Hammond, founder of One Mountain Leadership and creator of the True Leadership Approach, an awareness-based path that helps leaders shift their focus from what to do about their problems to how to grow from them. Whether you're just stepping into leadership or are well-seasoned and at the top of your game, your potential won't be realized following someone else's script, but you can draw insights from their stories and turn it into wisdom by putting it into practice in your own life. Welcome to the True Leadership Podcast, where we explore the essence of leadership beyond tactics and performance by sitting down with executives to hear what matters most to them. I'm your host, Ty Hammond. Today's guest is Anna Belova. Anna is a repeat founder, Forbes Under 30 honoree, and global pioneer in immersive and AI-driven technology. As founder of OpenWay.ai, she's building the world's first AI growth hacker for B2B companies, helping teams accelerate strategy, scale intelligently, and grow with purpose. Previously, Anna founded Devar, the Canva for AR, whose platform is used by brands like McDonald's, NASDAQ, and Siemens. Her AR products have reached millions across 75 countries and 27 languages. An angel investor and advisor, Anna blends art, technology, and entrepreneurship to redefine how innovation connects people, transforms industries, and expands creative possibility. It's my pleasure to welcome Anna to the show today. Welcome to the show, Anna.
Hi, my pleasure to be there.
Wonderful. Well, I always start here. Every leader, of course, has a beginning. I'm super interested to catch your story here. Who we are as leaders at work and in life obviously starts taking shape long before we are entrepreneurs or make it to any position of executive leadership. I'm curious, who's someone from your early life or an early experience that really shaped, not only the leader, but the person that you are today?
It's a great and it's really hard question, because from early childhood, I don't remember who can be or could be like one of a role model, because from the early child, as I remember, I did only what I want. And in this case, I can say maybe my family was so kind and so smart to give me opportunity to did everything what I wanted. And maybe I can say that this is my family, like in the first layer. And the second, maybe it's a school or university or my friends around. But I truly believed that every person can find himself or herself just only from, I don't know, like from the first scratch of memories. I don't know, it's hard to understand when I started to be a leader.
Well, I mean, I love it. Part of what I'm hearing, you know what I mean? I like it. That's why I offer also like an experience, but it sounds like in general, your experience was one of, or tell me if this is true, of being empowered to make the choices that you wanted to make. Was that true, or did you find it more challenging than that?
No. It was funny story. When I was 5 years old, I saw on TV some, like violin concert show. And I said, oh my God, Mama, I wanted to do the same. I wanted to play violin. Mama said, you can't, because you don't have, like talent for this. I say, I don't care, I want. Do you know what happens next? I go through all exams. Remember, I was 5 years old. And after that, maybe in like 3 or 4 years, I was the first violin in the big concert show. And maybe it's one of the reasons because I never get no as an answer. So I don't know, it's a leadership or no, but it's about I want it, I will do it. So
Do you find that continues on for you to the present day?
yeah, I think it's one of the motto of my life.
Well, fantastic. I guess I'm curious along the way, maybe not so much from earlier life, but as you think about someone who has helped to shape who you are as a leader, maybe from an early working experience, who's someone that pops in your mind?
Like a role model?
Yeah, someone who you feel like has shaped who you are as a leader, as an entrepreneur, has had some sort of impact on you.
So my first experience as entrepreneur was again in the childhood. I had experience to sell something with my grandmother, like during weekends. But I think so. I read a lot from my early childhood, a lot of different books, and I think one of the role model was a story from Coco Chanel, the person who built a lot of things in the fashion that we know today and who change a lot of things about how we feel and how we think about women's, especially in the business. And maybe it was one of the part of story who really inspired me. And I thought, okay, I love it. So this is just one of a hand, like in my mind. The second story, it's also common, but I had some different angle about that. So it was a story about Steve Jobs, of course, not just only about like entrepreneur, but about how to place design in the first angle.
Place design in the first angle. Would you mind saying more about that? I'm not sure that I understand what that.
Yeah. So in a business, in a traditional business, we often think that product and like technology or maybe I don't know, like functionality, it's really important thing. It is, and we are, but the most important thing, it's about what feelings your users will have when they'll start to use your product. And this is what I call design, like design product. It's not about how it looks like. It's about what kind of feelings or emotions your users will have when starting to use your product. I mean, like, for example, in your podcast, it's about, can every guest that you have in your studio inspire your audience? Can you, every guest give some helpful for your audience? What will feel, what your audience will feel when they listen me, for example, today? So this is about how you design your podcast because you choose the people who will came like a guest.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that insight. Of course, thinking about the impact so much is what I consider to be essential to leadership. So I'm curious how that might weave into our conversation today, which brings me, to my next question. Of course, in this podcast, what we're exploring is the essence of leadership, what I would call true leadership. And of course, that's going to mean different things to different people. So, what does true leadership mean to you? What makes a true leader in your eyes?
To inspire world and people around me to do something great.
What is inspiration? First of all, I just love how clear and assured you are in that.
I try to be shorter and more understandable in this case because
I mean, I love it, and I just can't wait. I'm curious to hear you expound a little bit more because it seems apparent to me, even just in a short conversation with you, that you're a person with a lot of vision, right? And a really like, here's this clear vision. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. And that inspiration and that, bringing along, because it's not just you that makes it all happen, right? You've got
yeah.
teams and you've got organizations of people. So that inspiration, I'm gathering, is part of how it actually comes into being. So what does that word inspiration mean to you? What does it look like in your own leadership?
We first and truly believe that the life, like everyday life, it's one of a big magic that we can have and see in the world. And for me, it means that I want to feel that every day is something special. It's not about how I spend my time or what I feel or what I think about something. It's about what can be today so special for me, and it means for the world around me. And from on the second angle, I think it's the best way to understand what you can do special or magic in your day. It's starting your day from the question, what if? And after you can continue from the different ways. The third, if people can start to think not just to get some results, to get some better outcomes, to do some tasks or exercises or something, but starting to think, what if I, and something, it bring us to a world where everyone can imagine everything. And it sounds like from some fairy tale from one hand, but from another hand, I truly believe that people can use their brain not just only to execute, but also to imagine and create, and again, design something that can make them happy. And for me, all of these things mean that it's my inspiration to do something every day. And if I can show my team and people around me, my users of my products, I don't know, like everyone with whom I can speak, this way as a way to feel a fully life every day. This is what I mean inspiration. I can inspire to do it from my example, and I also wanted to see how different people do the same.
Well, what was coming up for me there is how different of a conversation the question, what if and what should create. And I think that so many times when we're focused on, as you say, like just focus solely on the results, that we
Yeah,
get caught in the trap of what we think we should do or are supposed to do, which really closes off that dreaming and that possibility and imagination. I'm really curious to hear from you. What's one way that you keep that alive or put that into practice in your leadership with the people that you work with? Like, how does it actually look?
I give them freedom to be anyone and everywhere, and provide opportunity to self-realization and self-development. So to be clear, it doesn't mean that we don't have a goal or like we don't want to achieve some results, but it means that we weigh the path that we're going through together don't should be boring or like stressful or don't be full joyful, etc. It should be. I don't like really what should, but I need to say like it should be joyful and interesting and sometimes unpredictable.
Well, certainly sounds, if you're truly living in the realm of possibility, that what comes up should be unpredictable to some
I
extent.
think I think that one of the biggest challenge that every person has, it's about how to listen our inner child.
Mm.
Because
Could you say it?
because our adult role, like we grow up and we have a different roles in our life. For example, I am a sister, I'm a leader, I'm entrepreneur, I don't know, like I'm wife, I don't know, I'm friend, I'm programmer, I'm technical. So so we have a lot of roles in our life, in our grown life. But what's really matter, how our inner child feel themselves and what we can bring to him or her, and how we can open a door for our creativity, imagining something that really make us happy.
With so many of the words that you're using there, and I'm, happy to hear you, speak to the inner child or whatever it is there, because that creativity and that spark of inspiration, joy, and all of those things, I think, are equated with a certain aliveness in a freedom that comes from not being so constrained by a particular role or the shoulds or the oughts. So
Yeah.
sounds really fundamental. Uh, Life and leadership, of course, is a path that's shaped by fundamental turning points that we encounter along the way. You've had an amazing career already. I'm curious if you can speak to a specific turning point in your life. Now, this can be sometimes it comes as a particular moment, other times it occurs as something, that happens over a longer period of time. But can you share about a turning point when you realized that your way of leading or living really no longer was meeting the demands of work and life, and you really needed to grow?
It's a good question. But first, I don't know. But second, um, I spend a lot of hours and time to self-reflection, and it means that the self-development is one of the challenge that I have in my everyday life. And it means that today I'm not a person like 6 months ago, but it also means that the next 6 months, after next 6 months, I also be a different person compared to myself today. And I don't know, like I don't have a clear vision and the clear steps how it will looks like, but I feel that it means that every day I need to have a choice what kind of person I wanted to be. And it means that I can say that I have this turning point every day because every day I need to make a decision and I need to find something in me that can make me better and I don't know, maybe more different person. I don't know. Who knows? Like someday I ask myself what I wanted to change for me. And I find something when I want to change. And I starting to ask myself, what should I do? What is the next step? Etc. And I just do it if I want. If I
Yeah,
don't, I will not.
yeah, I mean, I tell you, certainly, every moment can be looked at as a turning point. I guess I'm
Yeah.
still curious. I might press you a little bit on this one. And as you look back over your life and your career and how much you have grown, maybe what are some of the ways that you've grown most, or what are maybe some of the ways that you used to operate or lead that you've needed to outgrow over time?
It's I never worked in corporates. I started my first business in the last course of university, and maybe it was a turning point when I said I don't want to work every day in feelings like I don't understand what's going on, and I'm not responsible. I don't want it to be some dependent on something. Maybe it wasn't a turning point. I don't know. So maybe I can be entrepreneur because I had some leadership in my childhood and like in my school. Who knows? But I can say that I was a child who had so much activities, like really much not like a normal kid. And maybe it was a turning point. Maybe I so full in love in life. So I don't know, like you see, it's like a different turning point when I can say.
Um, yeah, well, I really get first of all, I get a real sense, which is not always the case, but a real sense of there being a certain amount of clarity for you that has carried through pretty clearly from when for a long time. Would you say that's correct?
Yes. Yeah, I can say that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. I would just want to say that that seems fairly unique to me. And we all have our different leadership journeys, but maybe potentially that's some of the challenges, like coming in and sort of saying, here's where I want to go, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
That's
necessarily
true.
seem like there's too many turning points from that in that regard. It's sort of like, here's where I'm going, and I'm going to do it. Does that track?
Yes, yes, you're right. It's funny because like in one of interview, like maybe 10 plus years ago, uh, I was asked, what do you want to do from your next business? And I said, I have no idea. Maybe tomorrow I wake up and say, I wanted to publish books, and I just starting to do it. And it's funny because after 2 years, I started to publish books. And but it was like augmented reality books for children, like physical books. You scan a page and see how characters comes to life. And it was a turning point to technology business and we sold like 15 million copies worldwide, and it was most popular consumer line products in the world in augmented reality. And I worked with Hasbro, Nickelodeon, and other brands. So it was really amazing adventure. And I can say, if tomorrow I wake up and decide something what I want to do, I just start to do it. So
I know. Well, I'm
I don't
kind of
know.
curious. I'm curious for you to just sort of make something up right now and see if you end up doing it in 2 years.
Uh, I don't know. Like now, I'm focused in AI growth hacking industry because I really love it, and it's funny because it's also starting from my internal challenge. Because in one day, I started to feel myself not like a founder but a secretary of AI tools, and I said, "Damn it, I don't want to do it. So what we can change using AI for this situation?" And so here we go. Now we have a new company. So
That's beautiful. Well, it really leads me nicely into this next question and it's really interesting because, of course, everybody's path of growth looks differently. You've already spoken here about, a
mhm.
commitment to self-reflection, and I'm hearing
Yeah,
about how your own growth journey serves as inspiration for what's next in your entrepreneurial journey. Uh, Regardless, it takes a real commitment to continuously grow and learn. Thinking about your journey over the past, few years, what do you feel like has been the most valuable investment that you've made in yourself for your own personal and
self
professional
reflect.
growth?
Yeah, self reflection.
What does
It
that,
was
what
my
does that look like for you? Yeah.
so for me it means that I don't want to say like I want to be a better person, a better version of me, because it sounds like loud but not so deeply. I can give you now examples. So one day, I understood that, like, I don't want to be entrepreneur who, like, have a goal to build unicorn or biggest company, but I wanted to be a person, and I wanted to develop myself as a person who can build a biggest company and who can launch unicorns. And it means that I less care about process in the company. I care about myself, about my mind, about my mindset. And I develop myself as a person who launch and scale and achieve different results, etc. But it's not about the business. It's the first, it's about me. And the second, it's about the business.
What difference do you feel like that makes? That focus on you first?
More responsibility, I think, because it's personal. The second, it's about you can forgive some mistakes in a business. You can understand that something goes wrong because someone did something wrong. But for you, for yourself, you should be honest every day. And if I understand that I'm wrong, I can't hide it, like from myself. I stand like on a mirror, I look to myself, and I could not say it can't happen. It already happened. And I need to be honest with me. And this is one of the biggest hard work for everyone, to be honest with himself. I mean, this is a big difference.
Well, I mean, you couldn't be speaking more my language. Personally, I feel that, accountability, the ability for someone to account for their own contribution to what they're experiencing is literally the practice of actually living in reality. Because if we're not being
Yeah.
if we're not being honest with ourselves, then we're denying reality to some extent, and that's going to make us less effective over time. So an incredibly, not only respectful and respectable practice, but an effective one, because the more in reality that you are, the more effective you're going to be.
Yeah, but it's not only about that. It's also about to understand who are you really? Not like people see you, not like you show yourself in your social media, not how you show you, I don't know, like interviews, etc. But real you. What is a person? And this is one of the hardest questions when people have. Because be honest, everyone wants to be better. I mean, like, it's our culture. It's it's our culture, right? And we also have some, how can say, like, we can imagine what is the best for us. I mean, like, I should, I must. This is so hard words for everyone. But just only using self-reflection and only using language that help you to be honest with yourself, you can understand what you really want. And this is really hard because it means that you don't move on from any suggestions from your family, any suggestions of your friends. I don't say it's bad or it's like good. I don't want to estimate it. I just wanted to be clear that only you can be really honest with yourself. But it's so hard, but it's so important.
Absolutely essential, I would say. And I love the way that you are in particularly talking about it. And the extent to which you're acknowledging, I think, a really fundamental piece, which is nobody else can do it for you. I mean, it sounds so
Yes.
obvious. It sounds so obvious, but it's so essential, and it is something that takes quite a consistent commitment. So, I really appreciate that, and I guess I'm really curious. You are apparently someone with a lot of clarity and vision and direction. Of course, leadership is so much about what we're shaping for tomorrow. So, what's your vision for your leadership, your legacy, or the impact that you'd love to have in the years ahead?
Oh, it's another hard question from your side. So, legacy. I think the best legacy that I can give is to be example for my family, for my uh, future kids, for my friends, for my team, for my users. Is how to understand yourself so clear and be so happy to make your dream comes true. And that's it.
Well, what really rings through for me is the showing, not telling of leadership, and I really heard you just saying modeling
Yes.
that, and living that.
Yeah. I mean, like, in Japan, they have main six principles that help, like, to be to get better results, etc. But one of them, we call it ikigai. It means like your reason for being, and it's mean a lot. Like the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning, find what you love, what you are good at, and be happy for it. So, and it's so difficult, like make it true and make it so real life. But as I always said, unfortunately, we have just only one life. And it's your choice to live it like in a full power, or explain yourself why you can't or why you don't.
Where do you feel most tested right now? What are the challenges that are stretching you the most in leadership in life? The places, as you self reflect, are the biggest opportunities for you to grow?
As I mentioned earlier, the big challenge for me right now is build myself as a person who can launch and scale companies to unicorn stages. The challenge is that it's not like a clear path. I don't have some instructions. What should I do? What kind of steps? What kind of skills I need to have, etc. And it means like it's adventure when you blinded and you can only relax and start to have joy and I don't know, like some happiness every day from going from this path. And this is a big challenge because as entrepreneur and as a person who have some horizon for my dreams, I wanted from another hand understand when and how I will get it. And it is about a balance. I need to understand, and I'm truly know that I will get everything that I want. But from another hand, I also understand and I feel it's like adventure when can't be predictable.
Well, from one entrepreneur to another, I think you did an interesting job articulating what it sounds to me, that relationship between trust in the unknown and sorry, I'm just clipping this for a second because I'm
Mm-hmm.
you actually have me up in my head with my own entrepreneurial journey right now and my own relationship with vision and trusting a vision to come
Mm-hmm.
alive. But the way that trusting and knowing in that vision to come alive must not be a grasping or a needing it to look a
Yes,
certain way.
it's like dancing in the dark. You are dancing, but you're also in the dark.
I like that a lot. It very much does feel like dancing in the dark. Um,
Yeah, but it's pleasure, right?
it's equally pleasurable and like, oh, what am I going to run into?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah,
But yeah, so true.
yeah. Uh, well, as a closing reflection here, that I've got a little bit more of a invitation than a question, and I just wanted to offer you up the time and the space here to offer to our listeners whatever it is that's most in your mind and heart to share right now, based on the conversation that has weaved over the past half an hour or so. So anything at all, take your time. The floor is yours.
I know that everyone sometimes has dark time, but we lose our confidence, and we sometimes we feel that something goes wrong, and it's normal. I really want that people should know not just who we are, but what we really want, and what kind of answer we can provide for question what if. And for me it means know yourself, be yourself, inspire yourself, because after that you can change everything around you, because you are a main reason for everything that's going on around in your world. And this is the main treasure that we can have in our life, to be responsible, and in a good way to be responsible and be like a wizard in our life. And if
And
you have any question about AI, so you know how to find me. So,
perfect. Well, Anna, I so appreciate the wisdom that you've shared here today with me. I've really gotten so much out of it. And I'm sure that whoever listens is equally going to benefit from what you've shared here today. Thank you so much for being my guest on the True Leadership Podcast.
thank you for your hard questions.
That's it for this episode of the True Leadership Podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by One Mountain Leadership, where we help leaders grow the capacity, confidence, and presence of true leadership through the True Leadership Approach. To learn more about the approach, our offerings, our community, and how we can help you realize your potential in both leadership and in life, visit us at onemountainleadership.com.